Hey guys, this is Kyla. I am here to talk to you about the capital budgeting simulation for the new Heritage Doll Company. The assignment was to act like the CEO for the new Heritage Doll Company and make the decisions acting like the CEO. So it looks like in 2014, my company's APV was at 694.20 or 20, and to get that pretty high, I had to mess around with the discount percentage, and that would raise it up pretty well. Not super high, but it definitely helped a little bit. Let's go ahead and look at the financial snapshot for the revenue, operating income, and the net income. So in 2009, the revenue was at 245.75, and currently it is at 335.08, which is higher than forecasted. The operating income was at 222.60 and ending at 40.09, which again is higher than forecasted. And the net income was at 13.56 in 2009 and ending at 24.05, which is also higher than forecasted. So the divisional reports, revenue by division, the retail took the lead on that one, being 231.67, and the second best being production at 222.1. Third would be licensing, being 47.88. Let's go ahead and look at the operating profit by division. Licensing definitely took the lead on that one, being 24.33, and production being next at 9.62, and retail coming in third at 6.13. Next, we're going to look at the total assets by division. Production way took the lead on that at 183.07, and retail coming in second at 86.86, and licensing at 15.41. Let me go ahead and just talk to you about the decisions I made and how they affected the company as a whole. So in 2009, I chose to do the new doll film and DVD. It says the film was released on schedule, the marketing campaign was very successful, and DVD sales exceeded those of NH's previous films. So that's really good that it started out like that. Next, I chose to do the Match My Doll clothing line, and that said it outperformed expectations after a celebrity's daughter was photographed wearing items from the line shortly after its debut. Gross margin was also higher than expected due to lower than anticipated raw materials costs. So that's good as well, especially probably because the celebrity's daughter was wearing it. And next, in 2009, I chose to do the toddler doll accessory line, and that performed in line with expectations regarding both sales and costs. So that's really good for 2009. In 2010, I did the tween book series, and it says the appearance of 2 titles in this series on a talk show host's recommended summer reading list for kids boosted revenue growth above expectations, which is very good. And last, in 2010, I chose to do retail store expansion in the Northeast, and that generated more revenue than expected and were profitable right away. So that's also very well. In 2011, I chose the doll video game, and it says initial market response suggests this project will underperform relative to expectations, but is still expected to contribute positively. So as long as, it contributes something positive, that's good. It's a little sad that it did underperform, but at least it ended up being positive at the end. The acquisition of electronic toy manufacturer I chose in 2011 as well, and it said it is profitable but performing below the investment case. And then it says distributors declined to renew contracts and future sales growth is threatened. Well, that's not good. That's probably what did affect my company's APV early on. And then in 2011, I chose the Match My Doll clothing line expansion of concept. The expanded clothing line benefited from the strong performance of the initial Match My Doll line and has outperformed projections. So that's super good. That it definitely did better than expected. In 2012, I chose Toddler's Music CD series. The initial revenues from Toddler's CDs were twice as large as anticipated, which is very good. And the Bookstore Cafe and Writers Club, initial revenues from the initiative were somewhat higher than expected, but this was offset by lower gross margins resulting from a somewhat different product mix than anticipated. So that's not very good because we want high gross margins, not lower. The virtual doll community I chose in 2012 as well. Development costs were 3 times higher than budgeted and revenues were significantly lower, but the project was nevertheless proving to be profitable. So that's not good. The revenues were significantly lower. You definitely want the revenues higher. And you want the development costs to be lower, or at least even out with the revenues. Which definitely didn't, but... And lastly, in 2012, I did the EDI supplier software system. The new system performed better than expected with regard to SG&A and working capital savings. So that's good. That performed better than expected. So lastly, in 2013, I chose the Young Authors book series. Best of Girls books were an immediate success with targeted demographic. Both revenue and profit levels exceeded expectations. And the Dollhouse with miniature dolls, it was successful, but with lower margins than expected and higher production and marketing costs. The children's accessories line, and it performed higher than budgeted, so that's good as well. Replace assembly equipment at Sacramento facility was the last choice I made in 2013, and the new machinery performed as expected, so that's really good. So let's go ahead and take a look at the income statement and balance sheet now that you guys know like what my choices were and what my decisions were that I made in the company. So the income statement, it looks like the net sales were starting in 2014 at $335.08. They increased pretty steadily through the years, ending at $531.43 in 2024. That's pretty good. The net income starting in 2014 being at 24.05. That increased as well pretty steadily. It took a couple years to get pretty high, but it looks in 2024 it increased to 64.95. And so the balance sheet, the total net assets starting in 2014 were $285.35, and those took a while to increase. Those took over a couple years to increase, like decent amount, to $427.10 in 2024. And the cash flow statement, it looks like in 2014 it started at 17.85 and increased steadily as well through 2024, ending at 55.75. And the total cash flow and ending balance also increased through the years as well, pretty steadily. It took a while for the total cash flow to increase, but it did eventually get there. So as you can see, like through my income statement and balance sheet and the cash flow statement, that the decisions I made in the past through the company definitely took a toll on my company and my ending APV being 694.20. So it really is about all the decisions that you make through the company and like through the lifespan of the company that are gonna affect your revenue and your net income through the years. Thanks for listening.